Our trigger is in the frame through the trigger guard, and our extension is this piece right here that moves back and forth. Our lifter and striker is this piece right here. It articulates from this pin. It actually pivots off of this pin, comes back, and then this long leg here pivots up. So watch, as I pull the hammer back, this portion of the hammer hits the bottom of our lifter and raises it. The striker assembly, right up here, comes behind the firing pin. Now our trigger extension comes forward. As we pull the trigger, I'm going to do this in slow motion again. As we pull the trigger, you see how the trigger extension moves forward and gets behind our lifter right here. Now the lifter is held up. Our hammer falls, hits the striker, which pushes the firing pin forward. We fire. When we release the trigger, our trigger extension moves back away from the lifter. The lifter is allowed to move down. The striker moves down. The firing pin can now return underneath the hammer right here. So now if I pull, there's the little one, and you can see the serrated end right here. Now you can see that the trigger guard is starting to want to come out of the gun. So I always reach around and just hold it in place while I withdraw my punch. And bring the whole affair down and out. I'm going to go ahead and set the receiver off to the side. The large coil spring at the front is the locking block spring. Set it aside. Then our trigger assembly comes out the top. Lay it down, and here, let me turn that around so you can see it. Video doesn't do any good if you can't see. There is the trigger return spring. Lay it up there, and there's our trigger guard. Now our trigger has the roll. First thing we're going to do is take off the forearm, and the two screws holding the metal iron on this one in place. Same thing, screwed in place. Take the screws, it comes right off. The latch looks the same. It's actually a little different. So let's go ahead and take that apart. Unscrew the front screw. Unscrew the rear screw. So set those two wood screws aside. And then turn that up. And, uh-oh, we can't see the spring. Not a bad thing. That just happens to be the way this one's made. I'm going to put the forearm over here. This little teeny pin right here goes all the way through. Tap it out. It's a little teeny pin. And then the plunger comes out. You can see it looks a little different than the other one. Mechanically, it's the same. Does the same thing. Just trying to get that spring to fall out of there. It works exactly the same way. Just looks a little different. You know what? That spring does not want to come out of there. There we go. No, it's a dirty spring. There we are. Set that over there and look at the barrel just so you can see the stud with the notch in it.